Hello and welcome to the Nation ASEAN Plus. I'm Jessie CHAHAL coming to you live from Wisma Bernama right here in Kuala Lumpur. Every weekend we bring you stories that made the week as well as insightful perspectives from across a dynamic and diverse region. And we've had some significant developments in the ASEAN bloc this week. Let's begin with Malaysia. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has said that Malaysia's 2025 ASEAN chairmanship theme of inclusivity and sustainability represents a direct challenge to systems that marginalize developing nations. In fact, he said Malaysia's vision of ASEAN also demonstrates how regions of the global south can maintain independence while engaging constructively with global powers. Well, Anwar also added that as the world becomes more uncertain, Malaysia must use every regional and international platform available to address shared concerns directly with key partners. Next, the Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim said Malaysia has expressed full support for TIMOR-LESTE'S accession as a permanent member of ASEAN. At a joint press conference with his Timor-Leste counterpart on Monday, the Prime Minister said Malaysia looks forward to welcoming Timor-Leste as a permanent member next year when the country assumes the chairmanship of the regional bloc. Timor-Leste is currently awaiting the consensus of ASEAN member states to be accepted as a full member of the regional bloc. The country was recognized as an ASEAN observer state and joined the ASEAN Regional Forum back in 2004 before officially applying for membership in 2011. Well, we're still with the Malaysian Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, on Wednesday received a courtesy call from ASEAN Secretary General Dr. Kao Kim Horn in Putrajaya to discuss preparations and coordination issues ahead of Malaysia's ASEAN chairmanship next year. Anwar said the role and support of the ASEAN Secretariat was crucial to ensure Malaysia's ASEAN chairmanship runs smoothly. He said Malaysia's priority during its ASEAN chairmanship will be to strengthen regional peace, stability and prosperity, besides boosting trade and investment among ASEAN member states, expanding ASEAN economic cooperation and promoting inclusive growth and development. Moving on now to the Deputy Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. He said that Malaysia plays a crucial role in connecting the ASEAN region to global markets as a strategic hub in Southeast Asia. He said Malaysia's key position in facilitating trade and investment, noting ASEAN's combined GDP of over 16 trillion ringgit and its population of more than 680 million people, present significant opportunities for businesses looking to expand into the region. He also added for Chinese enterprises seeking to enter this dynamic region, Malaysia offers an ideal gateway with its strategic location, robust infrastructure and skilled workforce. Through frameworks like the BRI or the Belt and Road Initiative, both Malaysia and China have fostered deeper collaboration in terms of infrastructure development, trade and investment. Also, the Deputy Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof, said Malaysia has the potential to become a regional hub for EV production or electric vehicle and innovation. He said the growth of the mobility industry presents immense opportunities for local manufacturers and SMEs to integrate into the global supply chain. Fadilah, who is also the Minister of Energy Transition and Water Transformation, added that Malaysia's national investment aspirations aim to position the country as a global supply chain hub by attracting high-quality investments and enhancing the capabilities of local industries. Also this week, the Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Hassan said ASEAN must uphold unity, independence and be neutral to ensure Southeast Asia remains peaceful and resilient. He said volatile global geopolitical and economic landscape, along with traditional and non-traditional threats, reinforces the need for ASEAN nations to depend on each other. Muhammad also added that ASEAN should continue to leverage soft power diplomacy and maintain a neutral stance, ensuring it is not seen as favouring any particular side. Now, the first comprehensive FTA or free trade agreement between Malaysia and the United Kingdom through the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, that's the CPTPP, will boost trade and investment relations between both countries. Malaysia's Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz said the UK's entry as a G7 member and leading advocate of the rules-based trading system brings significant value. Tengku Zafrul also said that the UK remains a strategic partner to Malaysia, with a total trade reaching 14 billion ringgit in the first 10 months of 2024. The UK is scheduled to enter the CPTPP on December 15, 2024. Now, according to the Digital Minister Gobind Singh Deo, Malaysia has recorded 17.5 million users of the 5G services to date, covering over 82% of the populated areas nationwide. He said the ministry, through DNB or Digital Nasional Berhad, has provided and will continue to provide 5G infrastructure. The high number of users indicates a strong interest in this technology. Also, on data centres, Gobind said the government had not set any limits on data centre construction in the state, but would assess the suitability of each investment before proceeding. Well, here's some good news for Malaysia. Malaysia's breakfast culture has been inscribed on UNESCO's representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Malaysia's Tourism, Arts and Culture Ministry, or MOTAC, said the recognition for breakfast culture in Malaysia, dining experience in a multi-ethnic society, was announced during the 19th session of the Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage that was held in Paraguay from the 2nd of December up till the 7th. According to MOTAC, the evaluation body concluded that Malaysia's breakfast culture met all the criteria outlined in UNESCO's 2003 Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. Well, of course, we celebrate it daily, but it is time to internationally now recognize this milestone, perhaps with a plate of nasi lemak, a big bite of roti canai, and a big cheer with a frothy glass of teh tarik. Well, I'm off to a quick break right now. When I come back, we'll take a look at developments in other ASEAN countries. Don't wander off. I'll be right back. You're watching the Nation ASEAN Plus. Welcome back. You're watching the Nation ASEAN Plus. We continue now with Indonesia. Earlier in the week, on Tuesday, Indonesia's Senior Minister on Legal Affairs, Yusril Eza Mahendra, said that he is hopeful that an understanding could be reached soon on the repatriation of the 5 remaining members of the Bali 9 drug ring to Australia. The announcement was made after the minister met with the Australian Home Affairs Minister, Tony Burke, in Jakarta. Yusril said Indonesia has no regulations regarding transfer of prisoners, but the deal was initiated by President Prabowo Subianto's good intentions. The Bali 9 were arrested in 2005 as they attempted to smuggle heroin out of the Indonesian resort island. Indonesia's immigration officers have arrested a Chinese suspect sought by Beijing for helping transfer and launder over $17 million from a criminal online gambling group in China. The Director of Immigration Supervision and Enforcement said Yan Singh, a Singapore permanent resident holder, was arrested on Monday after an immigration examination in a bustling ferry terminal that connects Batam to Singapore identified him as a wanted person. The man arrived in Batam for a holiday with his 3 children, who were later picked up by his wife after he was detained. Still with Indonesia, the Canadian Trade Minister Mary Ng said that a new trade agreement with Indonesia will foster greater stability in bilateral trade between the two countries. Indonesia and Canada signed a comprehensive economic partnership agreement on Monday that aims to strengthen economic ties between the two G20 members, 3 years after negotiations began. The agreement will take effect in 2026 and was signed in Jakarta by trade ministers of both countries. We now shift our focus to neighbouring Singapore. The 11th Malaysia-Singapore Leaders Retreat, scheduled for December 8th to December 9th in Malaysia, has been postponed after Singapore Prime Minister Lawrence Wong tested positive for COVID-19 earlier in the week. Wong said the two sides are currently in the process of finding new dates for the meeting. Wong also thanked Malaysian Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim and his wife, Dato Sri Dr. Wan Aziza Wan Ismail, for sending him a get well soon package to wish him a speedy recovery from the virus. Earlier, Anwar, while presenting the second reading of the Supply Bill 2025 in Dewan Negara, said the signing of the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone Agreement, originally scheduled for December 9th, has been postponed to January due to Wong's COVID-19 diagnosis. And according to Singapore's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, South Africa has invited Singapore as a guest country to participate in the G20 meetings under its 2025 G20 presidency. The ministry stated that Singapore looks forward to working constructively with the South African G20 presidency, as well as other members and guests, on South Africa's theme of solidarity, equality and sustainability. The ministry added that Singapore aims to strengthen and advance common efforts to realize the SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals, and the Pact of the Future, promote inclusive economic growth, food security and artificial intelligence, as well as innovation for sustainable development. Next, we move to Thailand. The Thai army held the Trooping Colour Parade on Tuesday in honour of King Maha Vajiralongkorn's 72nd birthday. This marked the first such event in 16 years and the first of the king's reign. The ceremony took place at the Royal Plaza in Bangkok, featuring a parade of royal guards as well as an oath of allegiance ceremony. Troops from various sectors of the army participated, led by Thai Queen Sutida, the king's 4th wife. A relic celebrated as a tooth of the Buddha was carried to a shrine in the Thai capital of Bangkok on Wednesday. The tooth was accompanied by a procession of more than 2,000 costumed and uniformed participants to honour the birthday of King Maha Vajiralongkorn and to deepen diplomatic relations between Thailand and China. The object, considered sacred by Buddhists, was flown in earlier in the day from the Lingguang Temple in Beijing. The relic will be on public display at the pavilion for 73 days until mid-February next year. And Thailand's Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra on Tuesday welcomed Jensen Huang, the chief executive and founder of tech giant Nvidia, in Bangkok. According to a government spokesperson, Paetongtarn said the meeting was an important chance to extend collaboration on artificial intelligence. She also welcomed the signing of an MOU between Nvidia and the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society. The two then agreed that AI is vital to Thailand's competitiveness happiness and security, and that NVIDIA is ready to work with the Thai government to improve infrastructure on AI and to share their expertise. And Thailand's Foreign Minister Maris Sangiampongsa has urged Myanmar to expedite the release of 4 detained Thai nationals and a seized fishing vessel involved in a recent incident. The incident reportedly involved the Myanmar Navy firing on a Thai fishing vessel, killing 1 person and detaining 4 crew members. Maris said the Director General of the Department of East Asian Affairs summoned the Myanmar ambassador to Thailand earlier on Monday to address the matter. Meanwhile, Thai ambassador in Yangon has been directed to meet with Myanmar's Permanent Secretary of Foreign Affairs in Naypyidaw to further discuss the issue. Last Saturday, a Myanmar warship opened fire on 3 Thai fishing vessels, allegedly operating near Thai waters, resulting in 1 death and the detention of 31 others. Well, now let's take a look at the latest current affairs from the Philippines. And we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back. Let's continue the Nation ASEAN Plus with the latest current affairs from the Philippines. A second impeachment complaint was filed on Wednesday against Philippine Vice President Sara Duterte over her alleged misuse of public funds and refusal to defend her budget before Congress.
We have just filed the second impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. And what makes this complaint different from the first complaint is that this is really focused on just one ground, which is the betrayal of the public trust. And we are saying that the Vice President betrayed public trust by committing 3 acts. One is that she used her confidential and intelligence funds to the amount of 612.5 million pesos illegally, irregularly. Second, that she tried to cover this up by submitting bogus, fake liquidation reports, receipts, accomplishments reports, and other documents to the Commission on Audit. And thirdly, when Congress discovered this anomaly, that she tried to stop Congress from investigating the matter by refusing to answer legitimate questions.
The complainants said the Philippine Constitution does not permit such cynical disregard for public trust. Philippine civil society groups, religious leaders and former government officials lodged the first impeachment complaint against Duterte on Monday, accusing her of incompetence, graft and amassing ill-gotten wealth while in office. Well, here's an update on the ongoing dispute between the Philippines and China. A spokesman for the China Coast Guard on Monday said the CCG has taken necessary control measures against Philippine vessels illegally gathering in the name of fishing in the waters of Hoteng Chau in China's Nansha Kwanto and urged the Philippines to immediately cease its provocative actions. A series of on-site footage and photos released on Wednesday showed that the gathering of the fishing boats, along with reporters staging photos, clearly indicates that they were not engaged in fishing activities. Experts say the fishing boats in question are not suitable for fishing in deep-sea waters. From the Philippines, we move now to Vietnam, where its Secretary of State, or rather the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, hailed the strength of ties between the U.S. and Vietnam during a meeting with the chairman of the External Relations Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Lee Huai Trung, recently.
I think the strength of our comprehensive strategic partnership reflects the importance and value that we both attach to this relationship and to the many things that we're working to accomplish together in the Indo-Pacific. And I think we can already see many of the benefits flowing from the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, including stronger cooperation and work together on everything from semiconductors to supply chain resilience to deeper and broader educational exchanges, capacity building, cultural exchanges, and of course, core legacy issues.
And I agree with you that the partnership has brought about tangible benefits for the people of our two countries, and in the interest of peace and cooperation and sustainable development in both regions and also in the world. And next year, the year of 2025, would mark the 30th anniversary of the normalization of relations between the U.S. and Vietnam. And we have seen rapid, comprehensive progress in the relations of the two countries.
Last year, President Joe Biden secured deals with Vietnam on semiconductors and minerals as the strategic Southeast Asian nation lifted Washington to Hanoi's highest diplomatic status alongside China and Russia. Some half-century after a lengthy and brutal Cold War-era conflict, the two countries are due to celebrate the 30th anniversary of normalized relations next year. Moving on, engineers fully connected the Pu Zai tunnel of the China-Vietnam smart port Pu Zai Tan Ta corridor on last Friday night, marking a significant milestone in the construction of this cross-border trade facility project in South China's Guangxi. Linking two major border crossings in China and Vietnam, the Pu Zai Tan Ta corridor is one of the two pilot projects under the China-Vietnam Smart Port Scheme. The Smart Port initiative is part of both countries' broader efforts to enhance bilateral trade and streamline border processes. It also aims to ensure smooth flow across border ports, accelerate the upgrading and opening of ports, improve port infrastructure connectivity, promote smart port cooperation, and accelerate the integration of industrial and supply chains. Well, that's all the time we have on this edition. That has been your weekend insight into ASEAN. Do stay informed with the Nation ASEAN Plus that comes to you only on Bernama TV. And to keep yourself updated, meanwhile, do log on to bernama.com. This will also link you to our social media platforms as well. This has been the Nation ASEAN Plus. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.